what's up guys, TJ here. In this video, I'm going to review the Burton Sketch Artist snowboard in collaboration with Snowboard Magazine. Let's get into it. Okay, real quick for your reference before I jump into the construction, I'm 5'10", I weigh around 155 pounds, and I tested the Sketch Artist in size 159. And I'm gonna have this snowboard as well as all the rest of my snowboard gear linked down below this video if you wanna take a closer look. So the Sketch Artist is like an all-mountain, powder-focused snowboard on the Burton lineup. It has a fully directional design going on. You're gonna get a directional outline with a noticeably longer nose up front here outside the front contact points, a shorter tail in the rear, as well as a pretty significant taper. You're gonna find 18 millimeters of taper in this snowboard, so the tail is 18 mils narrower than the nose of the snowboard, as well as a 12 millimeter setback at reference stance. So your bindings are shifted a little bit closer to the tail of the snowboard. And that's really all the directional features this board has going on. So that's gonna work together to enhance the carving experience, but also help this board out in soft snow conditions and make it a great candidate as a powder snowboard. The design on this one's pretty straightforward. You're gonna get full tip to tail traditional camber, and it has a heavy camber to it. This thing is really gonna come through with a very powerful, energetic feel with a lot of precision as well. I think the width in this snowboard plays a pretty big role in that as well. You're gonna find a very wide chassis in this one, increasing the surface area significantly, but also really providing a lot of power to the edges. You're also gonna get a lot of carbon built into the layup of this snowboard. You're gonna find it in the bottom layer of fiberglass, a nice lightweight additive to just help get even more energy out of the traditional camber profile and just amplify that snap even further. Other than that, of course, you're gonna get the channel system here from Burton. That's gonna give you unlimited stance width options compatible with every major binding company out there. And you're gonna find Burton's WFO sintered base, which is a premium, dense base material. It's faster and more durable compared to an extruded base. And it is a base material you do want to wax regularly throughout the season to maintain a nice, fast feel and glide out there around the mountain. And that's really it for a tech breakdown on this guy. Let's jump into how this thing actually feels ripping around the mountain. All right, let's jump into the review talking about the overall flex and feel you're gonna find here with the Burton Sketch Artist. So I'll let you know right away, this is a very powerful snowboard with a bit of a more advanced feel to it. It has a flex solidly on the stiffer side of medium, both lengthwise and torsionally. This is a board that's gonna come through with a lot of power, a lot of stability, a lot of precision. And with that heavy traditional camber, this thing offers a lot of energy as well. That traditional camber is very noticeable in the overall feel and character of this snowboard and pretty much all aspects of riding. If you're trying to get flex out of this snowboard, this is the type of ride that's gonna really make you commit. It's gonna make you work for it a little bit. You're gonna be fighting against that flex and that heavy traditional camber. So it's definitely not a very buttery snowboard in my opinion. If you are trying to do even just some like basic butters, you really gotta commit. You gotta get your weight over the tips a lot more than you might expect. And you're gonna have to muscle it a little bit. It can definitely still be done. There is a sweet spot for that balance point on this snowboard, but it's pretty small. It's a little bit tricky to find. And it's just not that conducive for that style of riding with all the precision. And of course the directionality in this snowboard. This is definitely a board that's gonna make you pay attention to your edges and really keeps you locked in and feeling stable out there. But I will say, you can snap a pretty awesome ollie on this thing. When you do load that tension up in the snowboard, it gives it back and it comes through with a ton of pop and some really nice energy. It really gives you that traditional camber feel and gives you a nice, powerful pop. Now I tested this snowboard pretty late season here in Colorado at Arapahoe Basin, as well as early season here at Keystone and Copper. And I really just enjoyed this thing out on the groomers, getting it on edge, feeling out the carves, trying to push it as far as I could and really see what this board was capable of out on the groomers. And I didn't take it into the terrain park at all. But I will say with this shape and the power you're gonna find in this thing and just that overall feel, this is definitely gonna be a more jump leaning board if you do wanna ride more freestyle with it. But regardless, this is definitely gonna be a very novelty board to be riding with that style of approach. I think it could be a lot of fun for side hits and maybe riding some like powder features, but terrain park laps, very novelty. This thing has a lot of precision, a lot of width, and a lot of stability. So it's a lot of board to handle in there, and does have those directional features you got to watch out for as well. All right, now let's talk about the carving experience you're going to get out of the Sketch Artist. This is where I found this board really shine the most. It is such a pleasure on edge. And two specs I want to highlight for you guys up front are the waist width and side cut. So at size 159, you're gonna find a hefty 26.9 centimeter waist width. Like I said, this board has a very wide chassis, and that's something that is very noticeable when you go to turn this snowboard. It's gonna be a great benefit for you if you do run a larger boot size, helping to mitigate that heel and toe drag significantly. But if you run like a size 10.5 or lower on your boots, this thing just really changes the game with the carving experience and what you're able to do and how much you're able to commit to your carves, both on your toes, but more notably on your heels. And for the side cut, this board runs a 7.2 meter side cut at size 159. So a little bit tight in my opinion. It throws you into pretty aggressive carves. I think that is something that's fun to play with the width, especially at more moderate speeds. It allows you to just get a handle of this snowboard as soon as you get it on edge, even if you're not going too fast, which is a lot of fun. It makes it a little bit more maneuverable as well, which is another thing that can be a little bit of a struggle with these wider snowboards. But overall, this thing is a charger. This thing is so much fun out there on the groomers. It's a board that stays confident as you open it up and rip those higher speeds. A lot of times, boards with these shapes start to get a little squirrely up front with this longer nose. You start to see a little flutter, a little chatter up there, but this thing stays very solid. I didn't notice any of that out there. I think that camber really keeps this board very stable. The kind of board that's gonna be able to power through more variable conditions if you're not out there on like a pristine POW day or just out there exploring. This is definitely a board that's gonna be capable of covering some ground confidently, powering through chunder, transitioning from like a nice groomer into bumpy snow or chopped up slush very easily. This is the kind of board that does not like to get pushed around. It's gonna power you through those chopped up conditions with ease. Another thing I liked on this one is how the shorter tail helped you out in more techie zones. It did kind of allow you to pivot around obstacles and get through those technical situations a little bit more easily, considering how wide this thing is. And I also want to highlight how much fun this board is for ripping a heel side turn. You can really commit to that 100%, lock that front foot in and just drive through those heel side turns with a ton of power and just really give you a very unique feeling that you can't get with a lot of other boards that don't have this much width, but as well as this camber. I think the camber just really has a very dominant role in how much control and precision you find in this thing when you are making those types of turns. It's a board you can get very aggressive with your edge angles, dive into Euro carves, and just really play around with carving in a way that's very unique and a lot of fun. It's definitely a very precise, powerful snowboard, but when you can get a hold of it and get those characteristics working for you, it really opens a lot of doors for you out there. Unfortunately, I was not able to get this board out on a powder day, but I do hope to get it out in the backcountry this season and just do like a powder specific test follow-up for you guys. This shape I feel like is gonna be so much fun, and I already know that width is just gonna keep this thing floating so easy. So make sure you're subscribed for the powder test coming maybe like February, March this year once you get a solid base and get some large snowfall here in Colorado. But overall, I think this is a board you should look at if you want something with a powerful, carvy feel, something that's gonna give you a proper traditional camber feel as well, a lot of precision, and has all the directional features to just elevate that carving experience to the highest level with that width to boot. So if you're looking for something like that, a board with a more advanced carvy feel to it, something with a lot of stability and power, consider the Burton Sketch Artist. This thing was a lot of fun out there. I'm looking forward to spending some more time on it later in the season. But if you do want to check it out right now, I'm going to have it linked down below this video, as well as a link to the latest issue of Snowboard Magazine. So please go check those out. Let me know if you have any questions down in the comments. And I appreciate you guys watching today. Drop a like before you leave if you got some value. Subscribe if you're new here. And I'll see you in a new review next time. Later, guys.